Lewisburg is the defending District 4 champions. With a load of talent back from a team that made it to the state quarterfinals in 2014, the Green Dragons are itching to show they can go farther.
We need some of the younger kids to step up and fill some holes, and I think some of them are starting to do that. And I think as long as we play as a team, I think it should be successful.
Dallas is not off to the start they had hoped for. The Mountaineers and their new coach know this team can reach the District 2 finals again.
We really just want to play fast and work on the discipline here at Dallas. We want to make sure they know what their job and responsibilities are and that they're doing that. Ideally, we'd like to make it to the conference playoffs again. That's ultimately our goal.
Two teams with big goals. It's Lewisburg and Dallas next.
He looks like he's already got his play called, and they're not going to call a timeout. They're going to let him go at it.
10 seconds. Pick play. Got it!
This is another Fox 56 Sports presentation of the Rivalry of the Week on MyTV WQMY. Brought to you by McCann School of Business and Technology and Blaze Alexander Dealerships.
The buzz in the air in the back mountain tonight as Dallas High School gets to set for their first ever boys lacrosse game on the new turf as they host the Green Dragons from Lewisburg. Good evening, everyone. I'm Bob I, joined tonight by the director of lacrosse at the Pocono Dome, Coach Van. And Coach, let's talk about Lewisburg first. They've been unable to play any game so far because of weather conditions, and quite frankly, they've been having a tough time even practicing outside. The one thing the Green Dragons have going for them, all-state player Matt Federaca.
And Matt has been a leading scorer for the last 3 years. Last year, 70 points alone. So they're going to be looking for him to step up and lead this team.
Dallas, meantime, 0-2 coming in. A loss to Wyoming Seminary, another loss to Selinsgrove. Not the way they wanted to start the season, but Corey Metz is playing well.
I saw Dallas play at the Wyoming Seminary game, and Corey Metz definitely stood up. He's going to have to lead this team again.
So your keys to the game. Both teams want to win it. How does Lewisburg win this game?
Well, again, it's their first game. They're going to have to come out and get rid of the first game jitters very quick. The captains are going to step up. They're going to need to lead this team, and they're going to have to set a pace for the game.
How about Dallas? How do they win tonight's game?
With Dallas, things start with the goalie. Goldberg has got to just calm down. He's got to lead the defense. That's got to transition up to the offense. They've got to work together as a team. When I saw them at the Wyoming Seminary game, the first half was kind of hit and miss until they got things fired up and they started working together as a team. That second half, they came back, and it was a completely different team when they're working together.
It's a breezy night in the back mountain, but we're ready for boys high school lacrosse on MyTV. Their starting lineups and the opening faceoff are on the way.
You're watching a Fox 56 Sports presentation of the Rivalry of the Week on MyTV WQMY. Brought to you by McCann School of Business and Technology and Blaze Alexander Dealerships.
Back at Dallas High School, awaiting tonight's boys high school lacrosse game between the Green Dragons of Lewisburg and the Mountaineers of Dallas. As teams get announced, we're set for our national anthem, so let's go to that right now. So now let's take a look at the Lewisburg starters, 15-1 a year ago. At the defensive side, Alice Liscombe, a 4-year starter at senior, 32 ground balls for him. Mike Fox is your goalie. Brandon Toll will be in the midfield. 22 goals a year ago, and at the attack position, Chase Keeley moves over from Mitty. He had 10 goals a year ago. For the Mountaineers of Dallas, 0-2 coming in. Mike Shullock will lead the Dallas defense. Corey McAndrew, we talked about him in the pregame, off to a rough start so far in the goal. At middies, Connor McCarty gets the start. He's a 6 foot, 170-pound junior. And then up front on the attack, Brendan Ballo, a senior, 2 assists on the year so far for Brendan. So both teams are at midfield, shaking hands. Bob Ide, Coach Van, topside in the booth. Some rain on the way. We'll see how that plays out. But Coach, let's talk about that breeze. Very stiff wind. The flag almost going about 20 miles an hour, 10 to 20 miles an hour, I would say. How's that going to affect the play on the field?
Well, Bob, hopefully it won't affect the play on the field all that much, but I think it'll work to the players' advantage, keep them kind of cool as they're running around out there. The lacrosse ball is relatively heavy, so it's not going to be like a kick in a football game.
And the rain, too, with the turf here, I think we're going to have no problems with that, even with the sticks and everything. You mentioned the ball, so we should be fine if the rain does move in.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to have any real problem with the rain out there. Lacrosse players are generally pretty tough, so I think these guys can stick it out.
So Jack Spalding for Lewisburg, a sophomore, will go against Omar Nijme, a senior, on the faceoff. Our referees, Ed Van Kappen and Jed Gardner. So this is an inter-district game. Lewisburg out of District 4, Dallas out of District 2. It is Lewisburg's first game of the year. I know they're really excited about that. So we'll have to see how the substitution patterns go as well. It's also the opening game here at the new turf field for boys high school lacrosse. They have played 2 girls games last Saturday. So there will be 4 12-minute quarters, and we are set to go here in Dallas. Middies come in. Nijme controls, loses a stick. And it will go over to the Green Dragons. They'll set up the offense. So substitutions come in for the offensive side, trying to set up the matchups, right, Coach Van? Trying to see who has the short stick and maybe go against them.
Well, Bob, like we were talking about the pregame, first game jitters here, so let's see what the Green Dragons can do. Luckily, they came up with that ground ball, and ground balls are big in the game of lacrosse here.
First shot on the goal taken by Jack Martin, number 27, a sophomore. It's Fedoraka, number 9, in the X position behind the goal. Short stick attackman. Trying to set something up. Bring it back around to Bilger. And Lewisburg will set up the offense one more time. Ground ball. Won by Lewisburg.
Ground balls win games.
Keeley with the left hand. They'll set it back up. Fedoraka at the top. First shot by Fedoraka, no good. It's playing the rule of lacrosse when it goes out of bounds off a shot, Coach.
Well, Bob, after a shot, ball goes out of the bound, you'll see a lot of the players racing to catch the ball, get the closest one to the ball as it goes out of bounds. That team maintains possession.
Fedoraka gets in, doesn't get in the crease, spins it in. Matt Fedoraka picks up where he left last year. 1-0 Lewisburg.
Well, looks like they got over some early first game jitters pretty quick. That was a nice shot there. Snuck that one in right past the goalie.
I think that's what makes him dangerous, because he can win the one-on-one battles.
Like we said last year, he's been a leader.
70 goals last year, being recruited by almost every Ivy League and Patriot League school. His dad is the head men's coach at Bucknell. Face-off's very important tonight. This one taken over by Dallas, so they'll set up their first offensive side. I know they like to get off to a better start than they did the last 2 games, and that is not a good way to start.
It's not a good way to start. Now you notice that was a pass, so when the ball went out, possession changes from one team to the other.
Lewisburg very strong on defense. 3 seniors getting the start. So it's a good sign for the Green Dragons. They'll bring it up. This is Keeley. Another shot by Lewisburg. Rebound in. Another goal for the Green Dragons. This time, Braden Toll puts it in. 2-0 early on.
Now that's tough on a goalie. Watch this. He makes that first save, and then when he goes to recover, they were able to sneak it right past him there.
So 9:36 remaining in the first. 2-0 Lewisburg. We'll take a quick timeout here on My TV. So Lewisburg, the District 4 champs from last year, playing their first game. No opening game jitters for them, Coach. Up 2-0, 2 early goes. Boy, the Dallas defense, though, got to do a better job.
Well, they're missing their starter. The one starter is out this game, so they've got to make a little bit of adjustment back there. Those guys have got to step up. The goalie's got to come together, form that defensive unit. Here we've got...
this is Nijme.
Yep, Omar won that face-off there. This will be good. Let's see what Dallas is going to put together. Like I said, the last game, when they worked together, they were successful. When they tried to do it one-on-one, it didn't work out too well for them. So let's see how they work on this offensive possession here.
Yeah, that was the game against Wyoming Seminary. They then lost last Saturday to another District 4 team in Selinsgrove. And that score was 12-6, so they gave up a bunch of goals in that.
You notice when you're watching an offensive set, it's a tough one. When you're watching an offensive set in lacrosse, one guy has the ball. The guys on the other side of the field, they've got to move. They've got to do something. They've got to become part of the play. They've got to all work together as six offensive players all working as one.
When there's a penalty, he's got to get a shot on the ref. So it's a slash going to go against Lewisburg, I believe. So that'll be, it looks like a man up for Dallas.
Well, here's a chance to work together as an offensive unit. I mean, they've got the one man up benefit. Let's see if they can capitalize on this. Work together as a team, as a unit, and get the ball in the back of the net.
30-second penalty, but a man up for Dallas. Good chance now to get back right into this one. Bring it over to Ballo, and he'll swing it out top to Jesse Good. Inside shot blocked away by Liscombe. But Dallas picks it back up.
Watching this man up. Oh, it's on the outside of the goal.
Outside of the shot and taken by goalie Mike Fox, a senior.
Now they're man up, and on a ride like this, they should all match up with another player. Dallas should be able to prevent this clear. However, it looks like that penalty was released. They may be even now.
Up to even strength now. Those just one shot on goal for 10 seconds on the penalty. There
10
you hear
seconds
it.
left.
So what you hear is the lines are not very distinct because they lined it just recently. New turf field, getting used to lacrosse here at Dallas, and the lines are hard to tell where everything is.
The outside lines here are the red lines. The refs put cones on to help mark them off, but when you have multiple, when you have a sporting facility like this and you're using it for multiple sports, it can get a little confusing out there on the field. So a little bit of that. They'll work into it. Everybody will get used to where the lines are.
Along with the referees as well. I mean,
exactly.
Their first time here, and got to get used to what lines are which.
Now you notice for Dallas, they come down on the defensive end of the field here. They've got to work together. It goes out, pick up that player. They got to recover back in and still be a strong defensive unit right in front of the crease.
Shot, goal. 3-0 Lewisburg, and we're only less than 4 minutes and 45 seconds into this one. Another shot on goal for Federaca.
Yeah, you see number 9 here coming in with a very strong sidearm shot. He put that ball exactly where he wanted to. Well, it looks like there's no first game jitters for Federaca. This goalie for Dallas just needs to focus in on the ball, stop the ball, get it to the defense, bring it back up to the other end of the field.
So Matt Federaca, 2 early goals here in the first quarter. A 3-0 score for the visitors from Lewisburg. Of course, they went to the second round of the PIAA playoffs a year ago, Coach. Lost to Radnor, but that's a big step for them in a small program like Lewisburg. So here goes Dallas.
Yep, now here we go. Let's see if we can get something set up here for Dallas. And
quick shot on goal.
Yep, he just brought the right in and took a shot. I think the Dallas team is trying to get an offense set up here so they can work together. But you see a lot of off ball standing around. Those guys need to move. They need to get in on the play. They need to make something happen, take advantage of a confused defense. But this defense doesn't seem to be confused.
Another shot. Nope.
Well,
Quick, a whistle.
There was a whistle right before that one.
Kind of like a push-off on offense. He was using his off arm.
Yeah,
Let's look at it again. It was right. We didn't see it quite. Didn't see it in that replay. It was back just before that.
Just before that. Yeah. In lacrosse, they call it a ward, and you're not allowed to use your free arm to control that defensive player. You can use your arm to stick it out there and protect your stick, but you're not allowed to control the other player with it.
So here come the Green Dragons, already up a quick 3-0. Feels like they just got off the bus. Pass inside, almost taken away. Another shot on goal, blocked away.
That was a nice little backhand shot right there. Most coaches don't like to see that. I like to see when players get creative like that. You know, they've got a little bit of a lead here, so let's test it out, see what we can do.
So this is Federaca from behind, already has 2. Over quick shot on goal, blocked away by McAndrew. That was a quick hitter by Jack Martin, but a great save by the goalie. So let's see if that momentum can carry over to the offensive side. Good in. Jesse Good has the ball, number 24. Now we'll set up the offense for Dallas.
And Bob, we're down here once again. The offense has the ball. A lot of... Okay, there they made a score on that one.
That's our Corey Metz. No, they're going to say he was in the crease.
Oh, it's a tough break. It's a tough break for Dallas.
I don't know what to see it on the replay. We'll slow it down. That red, yellow, the red circle. He was pushed in, but his stick went in. That's a tough call.
That's a very tough call to go against Dallas on that one.
Boy, looked like it was in for Corey Metz, but the referee said no. And that's all that matters. 3-0 still Lewisburg, but big win. Here's the Omar Nijme. Here comes the slide. And they take it back out. Man, looks like a man-to-man type defense. Coach, how would you call that for lacrosse?
Yeah, it looks like they're playing a man-to-man. Their slide looks like it's coming from the crease. And, oh, boy, that ball just popped right out, went right to the defensive player for Lewisburg.
Matt Nash, number 25, another senior starter. Here comes transition for Lewisburg. 2-on-1. Goal! Green Dragons. Jacob Bilger.
Well, you said Lewisburg went to the finals last year, and we see why. Look at this. Nice little feed as he came right down. He was wide open right on the crease. That's the worst place for a goalie to have to defend a shot.
4-0 Lewisburg, 4 goals in the first quarter, 2 by Federaca, 1 by Toll. And then that one by Martin, or by Bilger.
Well, Federaca is making some things happen out there. He was showing why he was a 3-year points leader.
So the District 4 champions. There you hear the call from the referee. I'll talk about that, Coach, off the face-off. They said he turned his stick over.
Well, finally something has gone Dallas's way here. Hopefully they can capitalize on this and put the ball in the back of the net. There's a lot of rules that govern over the face-off play. They get to be a little bit confusing. Players constantly have to adjust, have to play a strong ground ball game there. It's always a fight. It's always a fight.
call going against the Mountaineers that time. Giving Lewisburg more life. They get the ball over the midfield stripe. And he'll get it into the offensive box. Federica with it already with 2 goals. 1-on-1 against a long stick. He beats him and takes the shot off the left hand. It will stay Green Dragon ball.
Bob, I'm noticing the Green Dragons seem very relaxed out here. This game is going their way. They've already got some points up on the board, so they're just starting to work some guys and see what they can do. Dallas is going to start getting a little feisty. You know, when that many points happen that early in the game, you start getting a little down on yourselves. Hopefully the cheap shots won't start happening. You don't, never like to see that.
So a turnover. Life for Dallas. Long stick has it, taken away. Great check by Spalding. And we're gonna have a push in the box going against Lewisburg. Dallas ball. Comes a transition game.
Yeah, the transition game can also be big. Ground balls, transition. If you can control the ball from your defensive end and bring it up to the other end, hey, that's how you get it up there so you can put it in the back of the net. You also notice that some of the refs and the sport in general is trying to get faster. So when you have a penalty like that, the refs don't like to dilly-dally. They just want to get things moving. Let's pick up the ball and go. You see Dallas is using a 1-4-1 type set here. 2 men on the crease. Isolation up top.
It's Matt Ross up top, a senior. In and
there it is.
Goal. Dallas finally on the board.
There it is, number
That
5.
is Corey Metz. Got one taken away before, and the new coach, Drew Abatangelo, likes it.
You see the first pass misses. Corey Metz is right there to take advantage of this. Shoots it down low. The goalie was not expecting that. Great shot by Corey. There he is.
So the new turf coming up big there because he can get a nice bounce off the turf.
Yeah, every so you've got to really pay attention to lacrosse because anything can change, and little things like that where a missed pass wound up just rolling the right way for Dallas on that one. So
Manello against Spalding, and they're gonna go give it to Dallas. And that's just what, like too quick on the faceoff.
Well, the faceoff has a specific timing to it, and what can happen if a player jumps that beforehand, then the ref will blow the whistle and give possession to the other team. That's always, well, it's a little hard to see from up here, but when you're down on the field, the refs are calling that.
So Dallas turns it right back over to Lewisburg.
Well, here's a point where Dallas has got to ride this team. Make sure that Lewisburg does not get the ball up in their offensive end of the field.
Knocked out by Ballo against Federica. And I think we're going to have push in the back. The technical.
Bob, lacrosse is a contact sport.
Timeout, Green! Come on, boy. Leave the ball right there, Green. Okay, guys.
So we'll take a quick timeout. 1:17 remaining in the first quarter. 4-1 Lewisburg on my TV.
What can you do at blazealexander.com? Everything. Check out any one of over 3,000 new and used vehicles in stock. Find out what your trade is worth. Get pre-approved, all from your computer, tablet, or smartphone. Schedule service and order parts. Check out our special offers. And even get help for less than perfect credit. What can you do at blazealexander.com? Everything. blazealexander.com. What can you...
We are back. Here's the last Dallas goal, Corey Metz. Not how you draw it up all the time, Coach, but it's all the ball bounces.
Sometimes you got to be creative in lacrosse. The ball came right to him. Corey happened to be right in the right spot at the right time and was able to put that shot in low. Which is always a hard shot for the goalie to save, is those low shots. They come bouncing in. You never know exactly where they're going to be. So it's great he was able to capitalize on that.
So before the timeout, we had a push in the back. You want to explain that?
Well, lacrosse is a contact sport, as you know, but there are some areas where you just can't hit another player. When you do a body check, you're allowed to hit them in the front and on the sides, but you just can't push a player in the back. That's just not good for anybody. So now Dallas is a man down situation here. Lewisburg's got a man up. They're going to run, looks like they're in a 1-4-1 situation here.
And it went against Brendan Ballo. He is in the penalty box, and Lewisburg will set up their man-up offense. Already up by 3. Federaca, hard shot, blocked away by McAndrew.
Nice save by the goalie. He was able to pay attention to that ball all the way in. Here comes
another one by Federaca.
Another great save.
And now Dallas needs to control the ball. Man, they're a man down, but they can ride this one out.
And now we're even.
Take away, goal. Just like that. Jacob Bilger puts his second one in of the quarter, and Lewisburg extends their lead.
Another tough clear for Dallas.
So the ride doing the job for Lewisburg.
Yeah, right here, what Dallas is trying to do is get the ball back from one side of the field over to the other, and unfortunately, there just happened to be a Lewisburg player right there ready to catch that ball. So a failed clear back in the defensive end of the field. That's never a good thing.
Should mention that Lewisburg is a couple guys down due to vacation and other things out of their control, but you wouldn't know it up 5-1.
You would not know it, and like I said before, they look to be relaxed. I think the coach is probably saying, okay, listen, we got a full game to play here. Oh,
wow.
Put it in again.
How about that? Federaca to Toll on the cut over the middle, and the short stick puts another one in.
You know, when you see your lead scorer start to share the ball like this, and Federaca now made a perfect assist, that just shows that these guys are comfortable. These guys came here, they're ready to play. They're ready to put the ball in the back of the net, as we say.
I did get to see a practice from Lewisburg, and boy, they were practicing just like this too. Passing the ball, sharing the ball.
That's always a good thing. When I'm coaching teams, I want to let them know, practice the way you're going to play. Some teams go out and they maybe practice half-heartedly. When they get into a game, then they can only play that half-heartedly. So.
Transition shot by Nishme, and we have a penalty foul. It's going to go against Lewisburg.
Okay, so Dallas has another man-up opportunity.
Slash going to go against Lewisburg. So Dallas man up, need to get some goals on. There's a rainbow out over the stadium. Let's see if that is good luck for the Mountaineers, because they're going to need it. And that will do it. Quarter number 1 is in the books. It's a quarter dominated by the team visitors from Lewisburg. They lead 6-1 after 1.
You're watching a Fox 56 Sports presentation of the Rivalry of the Week on MyTV WQMY. Brought to you by McCann School of Business and Technology and Blaze Alexander Dealerships.
We are back in Dallas, getting ready for the second quarter here on MyTV. Bob Ide and Coach Bob Vanderheyden, otherwise known as Coach Van to you people in the Poconos. We're getting, so we're set all the first quarter dominated by the Lewisburg Green Dragons. And they lead 6-1. Two goals from Federaca, 2 goals for Braden Toll. And Coach, what do you think of Lewisburg's offense so far?
I like what their offense is doing. We had mentioned before about first game jitters. That's gone. These guys are relaxed out there. They're working together as a team. Federaca is stepping up as the leader, as he is. He's like I mentioned before, he's made a couple of shots, but when your leader starts passing the ball off to someone else, that's a good sign for your team. You know, sharing the ball. That's how they get the ball in the back of the net.
Toll shot. As I mentioned, the rain coming in, but it looks like, I don't know, it's just kind of dissipated. There's a rainbow over the city of Wilkes-Barre as we see that shot taken by Toll. Bounces right in front of McAndrew.
Went way over top of the goal, so worked for his benefit on that one.
So the weather not a factor with the turf. Boy, Federaca just getting manhandled. Penalty down, but a goal by the Green Dragons.
You know, the leaders really, you can tell the leaders because they work on their stick skills. And to get through all of these guys, I mean, that takes a lot of stick skills, a lot of keeping that ball in the net of your stick. And then he handed it off to number 27, took a nice little bounce shot right from the crease, put the ball in right behind the Dallas goalie.
Jack Martin, a 6'4" sophomore who had a goal a year ago, already matches that. And now the lead is back to 6, largest lead of the afternoon for Lewisburg. We talked about Federaca being probably the best lacrosse player in our viewing area. There's no doubt about that.
Well, he's certainly showing it here today.
I mean, he has all the skills. He has all the skills that you would want from a Division I player. He kind of acts like he's only a junior, though, Coach.
Oh, he's only a junior. I thought he was a senior.
No, he's only a junior. So
he's got another year to work on his skills and to lead the team.
Yep. Flag down now. Going to go against Lewisburg, I think. I think they're going to get Liscombe. Let's see what the call is from our referees today, Ed Van Kampen and Jed Gardner.
Bob, I'll tell you, Dallas has got to capitalize on one of these man-up situations. This is a part of the game where you're given a benefit here. You've got one extra man to do something with offensively. This Dallas team has got to come together and put the pieces together, make this fit. Looks like the coach has changed their man-up type of a set from a 1-4-1 into a 3-3.
Got to watch that pass, too, from Metz to Nijme with the long stick out top. Spalding in the box. Dallas with a 30-second opportunity. Inside, over the shoulder shot taken by Matt Ross. Goes off the mark, and it will go over to the Mountaineers. Still with a man up.
And once again, you see that the players were racing to the end line to maintain possession. So the refs call the Dallas ball. And Dallas has a couple more seconds left.
Yep. And we are at full strength.
Now we're back at full strength. Dallas is moving this around. Lewisburg was able to kill another penalty. Now it looks like they're back to a man-to-man type of a situation.
Good screen. Shot on goal taken. No good. That was Jesse Good with the shot. Remains Dallas ball.
When I saw Dallas in the Wyoming Seminary game, Jesse was directing a lot of traffic out there. So hopefully getting him into the game like this, he'll be able to have an impact on the offense and get this offense working together. Now here's a nice relaxed clear by Lewisburg. Again, when you're winning by 6, you can kind of take your time, run your play, run your game.
So Lewisburg will change up the middies and the attack through tonight's game due to lack of depth tonight with some players out. So we'll watch for that. Middies will become attack, and middies.
Bob, we were talking before the game with the coach, and he mentioned that, and we thought it was going to be a factor, but it doesn't look like it's much of a factor for Lewisburg yet.
Federaca had an open shot, got fouled though. Penalty going against Dallas again on the push. Federaca had it, got pushed from behind. So man up for Lewisburg. Matt Ross with the slash, minute penalty. So a lot of time for Lewisburg, Coach.
Yeah, and Lewisburg, I'm just going to kind of go out on a limb here, but I'll bet that they'll control this offense. They'll run something very relaxed. They're in a 1-4-1 situation, so they haven't changed since their previous penalty. They're going to work this around, try and draw the defense out of position.
Got to know where Federaca is, and he finds Toll. McKendra not happy with his defense. Another goal from Lewisburg. 8-1, Green Dragons.
Now that was textbook. That looked exactly like what the Green Dragons wanted to do. Their guy back at X, he just kind of snuck around slowly. As soon as he was open and free, got the feed from Federaca. Got the feed from Federaca and just put that ball right in the back of the goal.
So after that score, we'll take a quick timeout here on My TV. More boys lacrosse action on the other side. The The Wilkes-Barre Scranton Penguins are on the cusp of making the playoffs. Watch this Saturday night as the Pens take on division rival Lehigh Valley Phantoms. Puck drop is at 7 o'clock live and in HD on MyTV. Get on board for another playoff run of Pens hockey right here on MyTV, WQMY. Bob Ide, Coach Van back in the Sunbury Motors press box. Score now 8-1, the Lewisburg Green Dragons. That's why they are going to be a team to reckon with, not only in District 4, but once they get into the state playoffs. They know what it takes now to beat the teams from, really, the Philadelphia area.
Yeah.
I mean, you've seen play from out the state. I mean, the center of lacrosse for Pennsylvania, Coach, would you say is the Philadelphia area?
I would say it's a Philadelphia area. Yes, it's growing into the Lehigh Valley area, but definitely down in the Philadelphia area. There are some teams down there that other teams like to go down and test themselves against. You know, see what they're made of. And Lewisburg is showing us a team here today that's ready to go down there and hang with the big dogs, as they say.
I think their biggest thing is just no depth. They're going to need more depth because the other teams are going to be able to ride them more.
Exactly.
Than you see tonight.
Exactly. It may not be factoring into tonight's game, but if they go down there, they may need some more players on their bench to help them out.
Well, it helps when you have a Division I player in Federaca. He's showing why tonight. A couple assists and 2 goals. Not too shabby for a junior.
We've talked about Matt a couple of times now, and you're exactly right. However, he is sharing the ball. I mean, he is, one player in lacrosse, doesn't carry an entire team. Matt is definitely, making some good assists and some good play off ball. That's key for team success.
For Dallas, they want to get. They can play another second half like they did last week. They can make it a game, but right now, out of sync. Corey Metz with the shot right there. Here you see it again, Coach, went off the side of the net again.
Yeah, when I saw them at Wyoming Seminary, their second half was much better than their first half. So maybe they're developing into a second half team. However, going down by how the score is right now, that's hard to come back from.
As you know, I am not a weatherman. It was raining before the game. I looked on the radar. It looked like rain was coming. But it's a beautiful, sunshiny day here in Northeast PA, and we'll take it. 60 degrees and some great lacrosse action on this field.
Yeah, this is good lacrosse weather, and I'm not sure about that Google weather. That didn't work for us here earlier.
What is Dallas trying to do now with this offense?
It looks like what they're trying to do. Unfortunately, one player is taking the ball, carrying it from one position on the field to another, and they're hoping that pulls the defense out of position. But this defense is working together. They're covering, they're helping each other out, they're sliding either from the crease or they're helping out adjacent.
It is a veteran defense with 3 seniors for a long stick, so that does help, right?
That definitely helps out. If they can work together as a unit, and if 3 guys can develop a rhythm between them, it definitely helps out. It makes it much harder to pull those kind of players out of position.
This is Toll already, the junior with 2 goals. 2-on-1, open guy in front. McAndrew with the block.
Nice save by the goalie. Yeah, nice save by the goalie there. Yeah, that Lewisburg player was just wide open on the crease. So it was a really good save by the goalie.
But Dallas's defense has got to slide a little better. Shot on goal. Race forward, and it's going to go no signal. It's going to stay with Lewisburg.
It's going to stay Lewisburg on that one. They were closer.
Talk about the slide on the defense.
The slide on the defense is vital because in lacrosse, like our player right here who has the ball, he's going to push in a little bit. He's going to try and draw that man off, and that slide has got to come and pick him up. You can't just let him walk into the crease area where he's going and take a shot. You've got to play him. You got to put your defensive stick on his hands, on his stick, and you've got to mess up his rhythm somehow so that his shot either goes wild or it loses power. If you watch how they're playing on this Lewisburg player, he's going to be able to roll back around, and that second man should have just come right out and taken the stick. Unfortunately, he took a swing at it and he lunged for it, and it just didn't work for him. So Dallas has got to get that slide a little bit better, a little bit faster, a little more power on that slide to not make it so easy for Lewisburg to take these crease shots.
Little screen, Federaca open in front. Nope, we got a penalty.
Now, unfortunately, there was a slide. However, that slide again came to his back, and we don't want to see that. So see on the replay here, the slide comes, but unfortunately, right in his back. Yeah, that's highly illegal right there.
Oh, was that before the shot? I guess how they're going to call it. The ball went in the net. Nope, it's going to be, a goal.
Is that goal good?
I guess
they're
goal,
calling that?
I guess so.
Looks like it.
Going to a face-off. So a goal by Federaca out in
Yep.
front. Penalty waived. 9-1 is the score. So Lewisburg extends that lead now up to 8 already. Spalding against Nijme, and the wing comes in, long stick wing over to Martin. Another big face-off win from the Green Dragons.
Bob, a long stick on the midfield line of the face-offs can make a huge difference. He's got that 6-foot-long pole, so he's able to reach in there and grab that ground ball. Ground balls in lacrosse win games. So if you can use that to your advantage on a face-off, you come up with possession of the ball. You can control, like Lewisburg is doing right now. They're just coming down. They're controlling the game, really, because they're playing this game at their pace, the way that they want to.
Defense has been on their heels all night for the Mountaineers. There's a tough offense from Lewisburg.
There's some good defensive play. Some good defensive play. Kept playing.
Got the long stick in, but again, Lewisburg comes up with that ground ball.
A ground ball. That'll do it to you. But there was some good play with the defense. There's a good save.
I got to tell you, Valera got to do a better job in Federaca keeping in front of him, though. Even though it's a long stick, he let him right by him.
Yes, you can't let anybody by you, especially a leader like that. See, as he was trailing, he should have been laying that stick down right on Federaca's stick and made it hard for him to make a pass, make a feed, make a shot. As a defensive player, when you're matching up against the leader of the other team, you got to play very, very hard.
So another flag down, and I didn't hear who it was called on, but it looks like it's going to go over to Dallas.
Dallas has a clear here.
Yeah.
So let's see if they can get this ball up over the midfield line into their offensive half of the field. That should be the first goal, and then work together as an offensive squad, put the ball in the back of the net.
So it looks like a man-up opportunity for the Mountaineers.
Yes, and there was a free clear there, so Dallas has got to capitalize on this. They need to get some momentum going here before we go into the half. Oh. Passes like that. We've got to get some stick skills.
It goes over to Lewisburg. So
well, that was a pass that rolled out of bounds there. So possession changes from one team to the other.
Dallas has got a ride now. They are a man up.
They're man up, so everybody should be locking off a Lewisburg player. Everybody, even the goalies, should be played. But Lewisburg is taking advantage of the wide open space that they created out on the field.
Liscombe, the defender, cannot go over that midfield line. He does a nice job. Here we go. Oh, huge hit. Referee trying to get his flag out.
He put it back in.
I don't know what he was doing. It looked like he couldn't find it, but big hit put on at the midfield. Up the flag from the other side.
Let's see what the referee's calling on this one.
That was I don't know if we'll have that hit again.
Well, in lacrosse, again, it's a contact sport, but you're not able to just go in and hit a defenseless player. So even if an offensive player is making a turn or making an athletic move, you're not allowed to just go in and knock him down. You've got to honor the game. You've got to honor what this sport is about. It's about two teams coming together for a competition.
I think the referee's discussing what the penalty is going to be.
Yes. Unfortunately, I did not catch exactly what he said there, but Dallas has another
unsportsmanlike conduct going against Lewisburg.
It looks
like it's going to be Dallas ball. So it goes against Lewisburg.
And Dallas has the free clear.
Do I see two men in the box? Oh, on the coach. So our spotter on the other side says unsportsmanlike on the coach because of that big hit. So it was a two-man up. Now it's just a man up. One of the assistants. Shot taken by Manello, no good. The goalie went in and out of the crease.
What the ref is calling there is when the goalie makes a save, and he has the ball inside the crease. He's got 4 seconds to get out of the crease. Once he steps out of the crease, he cannot step back into the crease with possession of the ball. So they call that an in and out. They award the possession to the other team.
And still a man up for Dallas. It was a 2-man, now it's just a single. Got to attack. Fox with a big stop. And he grabs it again. Now he goes out of the box. Should mention Fox is a senior. Couple-year starter. Last year had an excellent year. 61% save conversion. 6 goals a game he gave up. So a very good year for Mike Fox, a senior goalkeeper for Lewisburg. Right now holding Dallas is just 1 goal.
Now, it's probably worth mentioning, especially in this point right here, that when a team is clearing the ball, they have a certain amount of time to get the ball down the field. They've got to get over a couple of lines, and right there, the ref called him on it.
Okay.
Second, I'll explain that a little bit more. But let's see if Dallas can get something together here offensively and put this ball in the goal.
Under 2 minutes to play in the first half. It's been all Lewisburg here in Dallas. Mountaineers trying to get back something before the break. Nijme falls down, but gets right back up.
Makes a pass. They're sharing the ball. Oh!
Kind of a tough angle for Metz to take that shot.
A tough angle, but it was very good ball movement. And if Dallas can keep that kind of ball movement going, then I'm looking forward to the second half of this game.
Federica over. Seems like Lewisburg hasn't scored in a while, but they are up 9-1.
They're up 9. They're playing a relaxed game.
Oh, Federica just make that way too easy.
Yeah, that shot that definitely shows that he knows what he's doing out there. He put that one right between the goalie's legs. It was a tough angle and everything. Here, if you watch this shot, he puts it right between the goalie's legs. And the goalie not really ready for the shot. If you notice, the goalie there was watching Federica come in the entire way. He should have been focusing right on the ball. You focus on the ball in lacrosse as a goalie, and you just go right to the ball when that starts coming your way.
So there's a timeout on the field. 1:17 remaining. 10-1 Lewisburg over Dallas. We'll take a quick timeout.
What can you do at blazealexander.com? Everything. Check out any one of over 3,000 new and used vehicles in stock. Find out what your trade is worth. Get pre-approved, all from your computer, tablet, or smartphone. Schedule service and order parts. Check out our special offers. And even get help for less than perfect credit. What can you do at blazealexander.com? Everything. blazealexander.com.
If they want to show that.
Here's Federica, coach.
And if you watch, the goalie spins his stick. That, for a player like Federica, when he sees that kind of a movement from the goalie, he knows goalie's not going to be ready for this. So he put it right on the ground, bounced it between his legs, made it very hard.
His IQ for lacrosse is above even, both of us in here, because he's been around it for his whole life. His dad's the coach at Bucknell, and you can even tell at practice. He knows how to run the practice. He's a leader, and he's only a junior.
That's a great thing to have.
It just transcends right onto the field.
That's a great thing to have on a team. A lot of players go out and they learn skills and the basics, and then they work with just those kids that can make it a habit, and that they can make their passing a habit, their dodging, their ground ball. If they can make it a habit, then it just becomes second nature for them, and then their mind can concentrate on the other things, finding the open man, making a nice move across the defense.
Dallas shot, blocked by Nijme. Or should be taken by Nijme. Ground ball taken over by Dallas. Under a minute to play.
Yep.
Good ride from the defense. Here comes transition. Spalding all the way down. Someone has to pick up the ball. Back out to Federica. One-on-one.
You can see it.
He's
It
in.
looks like he's even just jogging right through.
Federica in. Goal number 5 of the afternoon.
It looked like the goalie was a little bit stunned on that one. Federica, the whole way through on that last move, he was just kind of jogging through. See, when he gets the ball here, he's just slightly jogging through. Defense, the Dallas team has got to come in and pick him up hard. The slide came, but it was just a little too weak. That's got to come in a lot more powerful, especially when you're playing against someone like Matt.
So two quick back-to-back goals from Matt Federica.
We've got 30 seconds left here in the half. This face-off right here will be pretty big for Dallas. If they can capitalize and at least have possession and bring it down to the other end of the field, even if they don't get a goal here, they need that high point of winning this face-off.
Spalding. And going for Dallas on the face-off was Michael Crotta, a freshman. So Coach Abatangelo trying to go to his bench. Anybody out there that could show something.
Looks like we've got a timeout for Lewisburg.
Yep, looks like 13 seconds. Timeout for the Lewisburg Green Dragons. Coming up in the half, Coach Van and I will talk about lacrosse growth across northeastern Pennsylvania. And he also, remember, runs the lacrosse camps and leagues at the Pocono Dome. We'll talk about that coming up at the half. But even a bigger game, Coach Van, than I even thought. I knew Matt Federaca was good, but Dallas just seems out of sync and kind of now and off.
They do. They seem like their first half, they just kind of went out here and operated as individuals. They really need to come together as a team. And like we mentioned before, and when I saw them in Wyoming Seminary, the first half of the game, they weren't exactly firing on all cylinders, so to speak. But the second half, I don't know what they did in the halftime huddle, but they came out in the second half and they really pressed the Wyoming Seminary team. I think at a couple points it was tied or just a 1-point difference. So this is, coming back with 10 points, that's going to be a tough mountain to climb, but hopefully they'll come out. Hopefully Coach Drew and some of the leaders, Corey Metz, Omar, those guys can get the team together. Hopefully the goalie can get the defensive squad to get together, get those slides moving a little bit faster, a little bit harder. They've got to do something against Matt Federaca, or he's just going to walk over them all day. Either himself taking the shots or assisting to his other players. We've got 13 seconds left here.
Yep,
Let's see if they can hold them off. Let's see if Dallas can hold them off here.
So Coach Mark Everett, second season, draws up the play for Lewisburg. Federaca one-on-one with the long stick. Inside, goal. Jacob Bilger. He puts his second one in, and that was way too easy.
There you go. If we look at that again, the Lewisburg player was just right in on the crease, ready for that shot. Here it goes. Matt's not even looking for the shot anymore. He's just looking to feed one of his players. He saw number 4 coming from around the crease, wide open, right there. They're shooting right in front of the goalie. That's the hardest thing for a goalie is to stop, is right there. The goalie's got to get his defense to get those shooters out from in front of him. Off to the wings, off to the side. That'll help Dallas out immensely.
So here's the face-off. Nijme and Spalding. Lewisburg has it. They have 3 seconds, and that will do it. So one half is in the book here in Dallas, and the Mountaineer faithful are not happy what they're seeing on the field from their team. It's been all Lewisburg here this evening. It's a 11-goal lead for the Green Dragons.
You're watching a Fox 56 sports presentation of the Rivalry of the Week on MyTV WQMY. Brought to you by McCann School of Business and Technology and Blaze Alexander Dealerships.
We are back at Dallas High School. Lewisburg with a big advantage over the Mountaineers. Bob-eyed Coach Van back in the Sunbury Motors press box. And let's talk a little lacrosse around the area. You run a facility, Pocono Dome in Sealersburg, and a lot going on there. I work up at the Scranton Youth Lacrosse. There's a team in the back mountain up here, a team in the valley, which is the Exeter part. There's a team over in Mountaintop as well. There's teams in the Lehigh Valley. There's also teams by Lewisburg, Selinsgrove. It's growing. It's just blowing up in Pennsylvania.
Well, first off, I don't run the whole facility.
No, you run the lacrosse
director.
That's right.
Let's just make that. But yeah, I am the lacrosse director down there at the Pocono Mountains. And what I am seeing is that there's a lot of these programs that are growing spread out all over the area, and I'm hoping that we can fill in all those blank spots and we can have lacrosse just all over northeastern Pennsylvania. Like you just said, it is pretty big down in the Lehigh Valley. There's a lot of teams down there that have got it. There's a new high school team at Pleasant Valley High School down in the Pocono Mountains. It's the first one in Monroe County. And this is the fastest growing team sport in America right now. So it looks like northeastern Pennsylvania is capitalizing on that with all these programs you're talking about.
But it's not a new sport. Bucknell, who, we talked about Matt Federaka's dad,
Yes.
that's been around since the 60s. I mean, this sport's been around a long time. It's just trickling now into really this area.
It has been. I actually grew up in Connecticut, and I played the sport back in the 70s and 80s. Anyway, back then, the sport was a little more rough than it is now. Now it's more about finesse, and we've seen that from some of the players out here in this game. The sport, it just keeps growing both in area and both as a sport. It's becoming more of a skill level sport, and players that get into it, it's not just a brute beat against each other. You've actually got to have some finesse, and I think that's what a lot of the younger players today are now learning, that you don't need to be the most athletic, the fastest, the strongest. You just need to be able to work together as a team. And one of my favorite things about the sport of lacrosse is there are no quarterbacks. There's no pitcher. So the whole midfield line, attack line, the defensive line, they've got to work together. Teamwork is key in the sport of lacrosse. And we've seen that here today.
So kids are getting in it all over the place, from 6 years old all the way up to U15, now into high school, to college. What do you see a grow? Why would you tell somebody to put their son or daughter, and there's girls lacrosse too, into lacrosse?
Yeah. Well, one of the things that like I just mentioned, that I really like about lacrosse is the team aspect of that. So it's not like a little player can't achieve whatever their goal is. They can actually get in and they can play with other players, and they work together. And that's big. That's huge for a kid. It's not a whole lot of weight on just their shoulders. They're able to share that so that all of them come together and they achieve a goal together. It's one of the most rewarding things when I'm coaching youth lacrosse, that I see kids come together and maybe they can achieve something that they couldn't do before. That's big. When a little player grabs a stick, and Bob, you know this from coaching, it's not that hard, it's not that easy to throw and catch. It's a skill that you've got to work on. And when those little players, they grab the ball, they make that pass, it just puts a big smile on their face, and that's great to work with.
We'll have plenty of time, I think, to talk about this. We're very passionate about this sport. Both of us are, so we'll talk about that in the second half. Why don't we take a look at some of the highlights before we take the break? It's been a Matt Federaka show. 5 assists. He's been on every goal. He's been in every goal. There you see his first goal of the day. And, boy, it was all uphill for there. And then Lewisburg back again. Great ball sharing.
I'll tell you, Lewisburg, after the first couple of shots, once they scored a couple of goals, they were very, very calm. They were able to control the pace of the game, and they played this game. I mean, you're looking at this. They're playing this game the way that they want to.
Dallas did get one goal from Corey Metz.
Yes, this was off of, like we said, a bad pass. Corey picked this up, made a creative shot right in, skipped it along the ground. Good deal for Corey there.
Okay, with that, there you see another goal by Lewisburg. It's 12-1 at the half. When we come back, we'll have third quarter action here on MyTV.
You're watching a Fox 56 sports presentation of the Rivalry of the Week on MyTV WQMY. Brought to you by McCann School of Business and Technology and Blaze Alexander Dealerships.
We are back at the new turf field at Dallas High School, getting ready for the third quarter. Bob-eyed Coach Van in the Slumberry Motors press box. Hope you're enjoying this high school lacrosse here on MyTV. Third quarter about to get underway, and it's been all that guy right there, Matt Federaka from Lewisburg. 5 goals on the afternoon, a big lead for the Green Dragons. They have limited play. Go ahead, Coach. Sorry.
Bob, let's see how Dallas comes out here. Like I had mentioned before, they were a second-half team when they played against Wyoming Seminary, so hopefully Coach Drew was able to get the team together here, and they're going to come out and they're going to show something a little different. And they do. They started right off with a shot, kind of caught the defense looking on that one.
Stone Manello, number 3, a sophomore, so right back over to Dallas. They control the opening face-off here in the third quarter, and that's a good sign. Also a sign you don't want your team to give up.
You do not. And that was what I witnessed at Wyoming Seminary. Dallas did not give up. They played hard all the way to the final whistle. Hopefully they'll do that here today.
Again, a great youth program here, a good feeder system here in the back mountain now that girls and boys lacrosse being played here at this high school. In the good shot, goal Good way to start the second half for the Mountaineers. Jesse Good, his third goal of the year.
There you go. Dallas was able to connect. It looked like they were working together. So hopefully for the second half, these guys are going to come out a little bit different. Coach Drew was able to get them fired up. That goal hopefully will. Number 24 there, put that right in. It was a very nice bounce shot, bounced it right in front of the goalie. Those are always the tough ones for the goalie to get.
So a big goal here early on. Just 40 seconds in. Another key face-off one. This time Manello gets it over the line.
Winning the face-off is going to make a difference, and it looks like they made a little adjustment there. Lacrosse, they made that adjustment during halftime. They're coming out, and let's see how Lewisburg is able to react to them on this one.
3 quick shots on goal, and that tells you just got to keep shooting.
It's got to keep shooting. You can't put the ball in the goal unless you shoot it. And they've been shooting a lot of bounce shots. Those, again, are the hardest ones for the goalie to stop. So looking pretty good so far for Dallas.
Another shot on goal. Ground ball controlled by Spalding and Lewisburg. Here come the Green Dragons on the transition. We have a flag. Well, saw a lot of flags in that first half. So it's going to go against Matt Ross from Dallas. He'll go into the penalty. And now Lewisburg will have another opportunity here to get back that goal they just gave up to the Mountaineers.
Bob, we've seen that the Dallas offense is fired up. They want to put something in. So let's see how the defense is doing now. We'll get a chance here to look at the man down set. That's usually your strongest defensive package. So these players, let's see if they're coming together and how they work as a defensive squad.
Referees time on the field. Got to make sure the timer's ready. They are. No, the clock was off. Okay, it's back. So our referees will single in. Matt Federaca out. We'll set it over. A lot of teams like to run their offense behind the goal, kind of in the X position, Coach. How come?
Well, from back there at X, you're not going to be able to score directly from back at that point. So the defense usually leaves those guys alone. So you're able to get the ball from one side of the field back to X and then over to the other side relatively quick. Plus, like in that situation right there, if you have a shot and the shot goes wild, you've already got someone back there near the end line. They can maintain possession of the ball. So the guy back at X usually is left alone by the defense, gives him an opportunity to feed. Just like that, there was Federaca, like you had mentioned before, and that was a pretty fast shot coming in on the goalie there. So defense has got to step up on Matt Federaca and kind of shut him down if they want to come back in the second half here. Let's take another look at that shot. Here's the feed. Number 17 comes back around at X, makes the feed. Federaca winds up with a beautiful shot right in the corner.
Boy, and there's a lot of speed and power through that.
Yes.
I mean, that was from the top of the point. I mean, another goal, 6 on the day now for Matt Federaca, number 9. Again, being scouted and recruited by many Ivy League and Patriot League teams. And maybe after another good year, maybe more than that. Here he comes again. They back off. Not sure why the long stick backed off on that. Shudlock. You think you would have to go after Federaca now?
On a player like Federaca, you definitely have to go after him. I mean, he was walking all over them kind of in the first half here. So in the second half, you've got to play him hard. Got to play him strong.
There you saw Mark Everett, second season at Lewisburg. Very interesting story about Mark. His stepfather was the former coach of Bucknell. As we see the shot, and another goal from the Green Dragons. Corey McAndrew beside himself in the goal, and that was Jack Martin. Puts it in with a lot of power. So another goal added on from Lewisburg. Another timeout on the field. It's been all Green Dragons here this afternoon. We'll be right back after this. School of Business and Technology has been preparing students for employment in their chosen field since 1897. With our hands-on, real-world training, you'll hit the job market with the skills that today's employers demand. Classes are forming now, so visit mccann.edu. Back inside the Sunbury Motors press box, Coach Van and Bob Ide enjoying a dominant play from the Green Dragons of Lewisburg as they make the hour-plus trip north and been paying off this afternoon. Not to mention they get to play on a turf field and get to play. They've missed 4 games so far and have limited practice outside on the field, which is all grass down in the Winfield area.
I'll tell you, the weather this winter has really delayed the start of lacrosse seasons at just about every skill level, youth, high school, even some colleges. And it's just made it kind of difficult. The first couple of games you come out, takes a little while for teams to catch their rhythm. But Lewisburg is showing that they were ready to go. There's another shot coming in here, close.
I think it went in. I think
Yes,
Martin scored again. I think Martin scored, and it's 15-2, a flag down. And I think Martin might be banged up a little bit on that.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's these shots right here, right to his arm. When an offensive player is able to get that much penetration close to the crease before they take the shot, the defense starts to take a lot of swings, and that's when those kind of penalties and possible injuries can happen. So
now we're into the running clock. This is the mercy rule. They're up by 13. Well, I think we'll have a running clock here now the rest of the way. The referee did show the signal, so there won't be much stoppage now with the team up by 13. I think it's 12 or up. So good win off the faceoff from Dallas, but they have to clear it first.
They've got to get the ball up to the offensive end of the field, and Lewisburg is going to ride hard. They're going to try and take these opportunities, the few opportunities that Dallas gets. They're just going to try and take them away.
Lewisburg again. Give and go. Defense has got to get ready. Martin out front. Someone inside. And that was Keeley inside, and we'll go over to Dallas. Omar Nijme will grab it. And Lewisburg now will ride. 10-man ride.
Yeah, Lewisburg put 2 men on Omar there, trying to stop the ride right from the very beginning. So
that's something Bucknell and Coach Federaca, they're noted for that in the Patriot League. That 10-man ride.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, a lot of teams they'll use that to try to force the clearing team to make a bad pass or to make a type of a move or a type of a play that's not successful. So they'll put that extra pressure on them up at the at the opposing end of the field, kind of like a full court press in basketball.
Goal. Now just like that, Toll winds it up, lets it ride, and it goes in.
Now you'll notice the defensive players are starting to sag their shoulders. This is not a good thing. The defense has got to find something to rally behind here.
Toll's second goal of the day. And now it's 15-2.
You mentioned
16-2, excuse me.
You mentioned before about the running clock. We started off the game in which every time the ball goes out of bounds, the referees would stop the clock for a moment until get the ball back in. Now with a running clock, we won't have that stoppage. So, so now the game moves a little bit faster. Teams have got to be more up on their game, or the squads have to be more up on their game. They got to know what's going on.
Okay, they're waving the flag off. Lewisburg has possession, and they'll keep it up now by 14. I take that back. 15.
Now Dallas is trying to get set up in a man-to-man, but unfortunately they did not match up to that particular man.
Didn't see who scored that. Well, here's the replay, Coach.
The Federac was just looking. He found the open man easily. Number 1.
Spalding.
He just came in. He just planted himself right on the crease, right in front of the goal. Defense did not pick him up, and that just made it too easy for him.
Well, Lewisburg was supposed to play Scranton Prep yesterday, and down there, but the weather conditions didn't permit that. And you know, the coach of Scranton Prep is watching this game because they're going to have to play in May again. You know, everybody in District 4 is watching this game and trying to do something now. They're going to have to stop this Lewisburg team. That's going to be tough because they have just shown a potent offense, Coach Van.
Their defense has been strong, too. I mean, if you're watching, the ball is down here. Dallas has the ball, but they're not able to penetrate into that crease to get those shots in. The Lewisburg defense is definitely paying attention to the ball. They know their slide responsibilities. And they're coming hard. They're coming hard. You saw it on that one right there. The slides came in, make it very difficult for Dallas to get some rhythm going.
Good slide by Liscombe and Nash, the two senior defensemen. Fox lost the ball. No one there. Shot on goal, no good.
That's a little disheartening.
A wide open goal, and they couldn't twist it around. Metz tried to get it in. He takes a shot on the goalie. Now you have to watch. We don't want any, as you mentioned, tempers flaring.
When the goalie takes the ball and steps out of the crease, he's just like all the rest of the players. They can play him just like any other player on the field.
Another ground ball, one from the Green Dragons, and timeout on the field. Take a quick timeout here. It's been all Green Dragons here this evening.
What can you do at blazealexander.com? Everything. Check out any one of over 3,000 new and used vehicles in stock. Find out what your trade is worth. Get pre-approved, all from your computer, tablet, or smartphone. Schedule service and order parts. Check out our special offers. And even get help for less than perfect credit. What can you do at blazealexander.com? Everything. blazealexander.com.
And here is what on tap for Lewisburg the rest of the way. They'll take on Selinsgrove maybe. I say maybe next Tuesday. Rain expected again. They're going to travel up here to Wilkes-Barre. They take on Seminary. Then they have Selinsgrove again, Mifflinburg, Bellefonte, Danville, and then back up for another game in Crestwood. So there's the schedule so far for the Lewisburg Green Dragons. Some interesting games. You want to get those games out of the area because you want to test yourself for district play, Coach, right?
Yes, you saw there was a lot of away games there. They're going to a lot of places. Playing away is always a little harder than playing at home. So here they're really testing themselves by going away, playing a lot of games. The other thing you notice on that schedule is the games come one day right after the next, You don't get too much of a chance to go back, regroup, and formulate a whole new plan. So this Lewisburg team has got to keep it going the way they're doing it.
And especially with the weather, I mean, it might be canceled next week. Now, no goal on that. They're going to waive it if somebody was in the crease. But, you know, with the weather, they may be playing once the weather breaks day after day after day. And the one thing that, we'll talk about Lewisburg again, while Dallas has the ball, one thing they learned in that loss to Radnor when we talked to the coach last week was just how fast the game is. And they knew they wanted to take that over into this season. And they looked very quick to me.
You know, we talked in the break at halftime about how fast the sport is growing. The sport itself is just a fast game. I mean, they're running from one end back to the other, and they're moving the ball around quickly. And as the players grow from the youth programs up through the high school programs and then on to the college and then professional, the game just gets that much faster. So you've always got to prepare yourself for the next level that's coming at you. You've got to get ready. You've got to know what you're doing. And just by the way Lewisburg is playing out here, they are prepared. They are working together as a team. Now there's Omar bringing in a slide, and that was a pretty potent slide. So hopefully defense can get going for Dallas. They're playing the ground ball out here. Ground balls win games, as we've said before.
Number 6 looks like a freshman. I don't have a number 6 on my roster, but Nijma took a big shot on him. Came up limping a little bit, might be cramping up. Spalding in, lost the ball.
Lost the ball on that one.
So Lewisburg starting to play some of their bench, even though they're limited. And it's taken out. Big ground ball taken again from the Green Dragons.
ground ball goes on for that long, there's always a danger of somebody taking a cheap shot or a push or a slash on the ankles, and those kind of injuries or penalties come from that. But Dallas comes up with the ball.
Yeah, good speed by Jesse Good on the transition. Let's see if they can set something up quickly before Lewisburg's defense can set up. Coach, talk about the sticks. We see the long sticks, the short sticks. What's the difference and why?
Well, our defensive players normally have a long stick. That gives them a little bit more of a reach. Their sticks are typically 6 feet long, so they're able to reach out and lay a check a little faster, like the defensive player just tried to do right there. It also allows them to try and control the offensive player and to move them to a part of the field in which is harder for them to shoot. So with those long stick defensive players, they're trying to get the shooters out of the crease and out onto the wing areas. Lewisburg has been able to accomplish that today. Dallas has had a difficult time. So those long sticks, if you know how to use them, they can be pretty good tools out on the lacrosse field. You'll also notice that sometimes they put a midfielder on the field with a long stick. Again, they're allowed to put, I believe, 4 long sticks at this age group on the field at one time per team. So they want to get that advantage with the equipment, so they'll put him out there as a midfield.
Ball taken over by Dallas off of some kind of foul. Couldn't tell from the referee, but it is Dallas who has the ball. Good with it. Shot on goal, trying to bounce. Fox right there hasn't seen a lot of shots today, but he stopped most of them.
And he's doing a nice job clearing. I mean, this is kind of textbook. He got the ball. He went out around behind in the back, behind the crease, and that ends your quarter here.
Yeah, quick quarter, but a bunch of goals put up from Lewisburg. They extend their lead up to 15 now over the Mountaineers. Quarter 4, number 4 is on the way. Catch an all-new spellbinding episode of the hit thriller The Following this Monday. With only a few days until Joe Carroll's executing Ryan and Mike shift their focus to a new threat. Tune in at 8 for a new episode of Gotham and The Following at 9, only on Fox 56. Quarter number 4 about to get underway. We're inside the Sunbury Motors press box. Bob Ide and Coach Bob Vanderheiden, otherwise known as Coach V, to the people down in the Stroudsburg, Monroe County area. Glad you can make the trip up here, Coach. And, boy, it's been entertaining from an offensive standpoint if you like that, and you're a Lewisburg fan. If you're a Dallas fan, not so much.
Bob, you're exactly right. Thank you for the invite. It was a pleasure coming up here and seeing this game. This game has been dominated by Lewisburg. They came out, they're playing the way that they want to play. Yes, we talked about Matt Federaca, but the whole team has worked together very well. The offense has been sharing the ball. They've been playing the ball. They've come up with a lot of ground balls. The defensive squad has also been very good, playing their positions, working together as a squad, and that's what wins games. When the teams come together, and all work as one, they get a rhythm going.
And there we see another flag as we had some pushing and shoving on the ground ball attempt. So some good sportsmanship, and I think this may go against the Mountaineers. See who's going off. So, can't tell. It looks like man up, Coach, for Lewisburg. I didn't see a call. Just saw a flag, but I don't see anybody in the box. So I think we're
still
even strength. Yeah, it's even strength.
Still even on
Need to
this
count
one.
quickly, yeah. So out front, Lewisburg has it. That's Keeley with it. Over to Spalding. He has a couple of goals today.
The danger you run into with those ground ball situations this late in the game and with this much of a point spread is that it's going to start getting real chippy. So the referee may have just stepped in right there and given possession. That's good on the refs. I mean, there's no reason for somebody to get injured out on a game, this late at a game,
Nope.
game like this. So.
So not the start I know Dallas wanted on this new turf field. As the long pass goes awry. Wrong ball taken over by the Mountaineers. Taken out by Shudlock. And we're going to have a timeout for the Mountaineers. So with that, we'll take a quick break here. Still, Lewisburg up. We're just starting the fourth quarter.
What can you do at Blaze Alexander? BlazeAlexander.com, everything. Check out any one of over 3,000 new and used vehicles in stock. Find out what your trade is worth. Get pre-approved, all from your computer, tablet, or smartphone. Schedule service and order parts. Check out our special offers. And even get help for less than perfect credit. What can you do at BlazeAlexander.com? Everything. BlazeAlexander.com. What can you...
So we are back at Dallas after a quick timeout. There's a timeout called on the field by the Mountaineers. We'll stay right here and let them set up their offense. It's been all Lewisburg this afternoon, a 15-goal lead. 6 goals by Matt Federaca leading the way. Martin Toll and Spaulding also have put the ball in the net.
Bob, you know, a couple of weeks ago when I saw the Wyoming Seminary and Dallas game, I had a chance to talk to Coach Drew and Coach Don for Dallas, and I can tell those two guys are very passionate about the sport. They're very passionate about their team. This kind of a point spread has got to be a little disheartening. So I'd be interested to know what the coaches are asking the players to do right now, and how to get them to come back from this and at least win a quarter.
Right, you need some kind of momentum, something to build upon when you have practice tomorrow.
Exactly.
And you look at the film.
Exactly. Yep. You give your team like a goal right now. Maybe it's something as simple as 5 passes or something, so that they can at least accomplish a goal and feel positive about themselves.
Mets tried to sneak in and got called in the crease.
You know, back in the 80s, there was a couple of players out of Canada, the Gate brothers, and they used to jump across the crease just like that. So I guess Corey was trying to get a little creative there, trying to make something happen. Unfortunately, it didn't work for him this time.
Boy, the best stick handlers I saw, you know, last year, the Thompson brothers out of Albany. They're playing pro ball now. Boy, they can handle a stick. Oh, shot on goal, and it is good by guess who? Jesse Good. His 2nd goal of the afternoon, and Dallas gets one back.
And this was a good shot here. He comes in, isolates his defensive player, makes a move, switches hands. That was a textbook shot right there by Jesse. Very good play. Hopefully they can get a couple more of these, get the morale going for Dallas. They just got to win the faceoff here. Looks like Omar's back in on the faceoff. Gonna play this ground ball.
So Dallas with some momentum now. They have possession. Now let's see if they can get another goal in quickly. One thing about lacrosse, you can get back into it quickly if you put a good offensive set together.
Yes, if your team starts firing on all cylinders, that you can erase a deficit. This one's a little bit big, but they're going to try, and they're putting some shots in.
Fox with a big save after giving up that last goal, and Dallas will ride a little bit as Lewisburg tries to get it up and over the lines that they need to under the time limit.
Yes, we mentioned that before. There is a certain amount of time that they have to get the ball, number 1, out of the restraining box, across the midfield line, and then up into the other restraining box at the other end of the team, or other end of the field. Looks like they just missed it on that one again there.
Yep. Saw the goalie come up. He can come up to midfield.
He can actually even cross over the midfield if a midfielder will stay back for him, but it's rarely happened. You want to keep your goalie kind of back close to the goal. That's his main responsibility.
It's dangerous,
Exactly. You want to keep him in there. So at each of the different levels, youth, high school, college, those times of getting the ball from one point on the field to the other, they vary a little bit, and they're kind of designed around the skill level of the particular players at that age. So
flag down, Nijme kind of pushed down and lost his footing. He's limping again. I think he's cramping up a little bit. You know, the weather is a little bit warmer than it has been. He is really hobbling out there.
Yeah.
You can see number 11. And there's Coach Drew Apatangelo. Played at Misericordia, 4-year starter on defense for them. He's out of Orange County, New York. He played 4 years at Central High. Trying to get this program back to where it was last year, which was into the district finals. They lost to Delaware Valley.
That's got to be disappointing for Omar there. He's He's trying to get his team going again on offense, and then now just a minor little injury. So he's going to see the trainer, and if I had a chance to talk with him before the game, so I would bet that he's going to try to get cleared by that trainer as soon as he can and get back into the action on the field. Looks like Dallas has got a man-up situation. They went back to the 3-3. The 3-3 set.
So Dallas man up does not get anything in. And on the transition, Lewisburg has it.
Well, they made a couple of good passes, but that shooter dropped the ball. So, and now we have another ground ball situation. Gonna be a lot of pushing and shoving.
I think we had either a stick hold or a push on a stick, and it will go over to the Green Dragons. In quickly, just like that, they score. That is Bilger. He adds another one. That's his third goal out of the afternoon, and we'll take a quick timeout here. Score now 18-3. Lewisburg extends their lead here on MyTV. So timeout on the field. Lewisburg a quick goal, and they're up 15 now. Back in the Sunbury Motors press box. Bye-bye, Coach Fan. And Coach, you coach, take care of a lot of youth. I'm coaching youth now. What would you say is the most important thing to learn at the youth level?
Well, depending upon the youth level, you want it to be a natural progression through the sport. So at the U9, which is a lot of 7- and 8-year-olds, you're really focusing on the basic stick skills. Ground balls, scooping, passing, catching, shooting. Maybe you introduce some dodging. At the U11 age, which is then your 9- and 10-year-olds, you want to start introducing some game sense, some two guys working together, maybe some picks, some off-ball movement. You really want to start introducing some offensive sets, a 1-3-2 maybe, something along those lines. At the U13 and then the U15, that's for the players to really start getting it. They've got to start increasing their lacrosse IQ. So, again, working on those sets, those 1-3-2, 1-4-1, 2-2-2, 6-0, whatever the coach wants them to work on offensively and defensively. The difference between a man-to-man defense, a zone defense. You want to start throwing those aspects of the game in on the U13, U15 age. That way they'll be prepared for when they get to the high school level, which we're seeing here today. Another thing you really need to start introducing at the U15 level is the rides and the clears. Because as we saw here today, if a team can control the ball from one end of the field up to the other end of the field, they can maintain possession. It gives them a huge advantage. And at the high school level, you need to be able to manage the field in that way. Looks like Lewisburg is doing it again right here.
Federica taking it by himself up to the long stick, but he eludes that, picks up a little bit of a pick there. And now Federica in, unscathed, switches hands, finds a guy in the middle.
Again, he broke through. When the slide came, he fed right to the crease. Federica has just been looking for that all day long. I also noticed on that clear, he had a lot of different moves. His bag of tricks, as I call it, is pretty deep. He comes up to another defensive player, and he has a different move. Next defensive player uses something else. You got to be creative in this sport. You got to be able to work on your stick skills, work on your basic lacrosse skills, really, and then just be creative with it.
So under 4 to play, this game not in doubt. Lewisburg will pick up their first win of the season, move to 1-0. Dallas is going to have to go back to the drawing board before they hit league play up in the Wyoming Valley Conference, and they'll drop to 0-3.
It looks like the Lewisburg players are taking this time to just try some different things, see what they can do. There's actually a pretty good shot by Federica and a nice save by the goalie. The goalie's got the ball. He's got to calm down and just get the pass out. There we go. We've got a nice little clear. See, controlling the ball starts with the goalie. Goalie makes a save, gets the ball up to his defense or midfield. Midfield brings the ball up. Again, they took a shot. Dallas had a player back there to maintain possession. So now Dallas, hopefully, will get something set up here. Take advantage of this.
Manello shot it. So Dallas would have it in the offensive box. Good ride from Loftus, the sophomore, number 22. And the ball will go out of bounds, and it will be over to Lewisburg. A nice interception.
There's a very good interception. And they're
Shot a
able
goal, taken in, and it's good again. Jesse Good, new goalie in there, as you saw. Number 14 for Lewisburg is Co Hutchinson, just a sophomore.
And Jesse just capitalized on being in the perfect spot at the perfect time. He was able to intercept that pass, made a slight little move around the defenseman, put the ball in the goal.
It is raining now on the turf field here at Dallas.
We've got two minutes left to go.
Yep.
And Dallas has not given up. They're still pushing. This is what I liked about them. When I watched them over in the game against Wyoming Seminary, they played till the final whistle. So Dallas is going to just keep playing, keep playing, keep playing.
It's a long season. They can keep improving, too. I mean, this will be a learning stick, no doubt, for Dallas. They'll take a look at the tape. They'll learn from it. Because Lewisburg brought in a very high tempo. And something they wanted to do this season was play at a good speed, and they can.
Lewisburg came out right at the gate and just started playing the game the way they wanted to play it. That's why they had success. They were able to control the game right from the get-go. They played the way that they wanted to play. And I always say it, if you can do what you want to do better than the other guy can do what he wants to do, you're going to be successful in lacrosse.
Oh, Federaca, as we're talking, just picked up his 7th goal of the day, and it was a quick one off the transition.
Yep, here it comes, and he's just coming around the back. He picked up, it was basically, or almost an intercepted pass there, but the ball fell back on the ground. Federaca was there, took the ball, put it in the back of the net.
So there's Mark Everett, second season here, something to build on. He has a good team headed their way out in District 4. He talked about his stepfather, Sid Jameson, 40-year coach at Bucknell, picked up 248 wins, so he's been around a lot of good lacrosse down in the Lewisburg area. And he's got a team now that's going to be reckoned for in District 4. We're 20 seconds under. Players of the game, as you might expect, Matt Federaca. And we'll give it to Braden Toll, the junior, number 17, for Lewisburg. We'll try to talk to them after this one. So Lewisburg heads to Dallas, picks up win number 1 on the season. Dallas goes 0-3, and that will do it. The final score, Lewisburg 19, Dallas 4. When Coach Van and I return, we'll have our players of the game. We'll wrap this one up, and we'll get you set for our next broadcast on MyTV.
We're back at Dallas High School. The final score, once again, 19-4. Lewisburg beats Dallas. Let's bring our players of the game. Matt Federaca. And Matt, boy, other documents. Boy, it looks like you haven't played in a while, but you haven't played since last year. You bring it out, and you bring it out tough tonight. What was the difference? You came out fired up.
Well, I mean, certainly with a late start to our season, we've been really anxious to play, and I think everyone just wanted to get on the field real bad, and everyone brought that intensity tonight, and the effort was there the whole game.
It looks like you haven't missed a beat, 7 goals in this one, but again, we were really impressed with the way you assisted.
I always try to get my teammates involved. I mean, they work so hard too, and assist is twice as good as a goal, we say. That's our motto on our team, and we're always just trying to look for other players.
When we talked to you last week, you lost to Radnor last year in the PIAA quarterfinals. You wanted to up your speed. It looks like you've done that with the offensive play tonight.
Yeah, I definitely think we're a more athletic group this year. I mean, in between the lines, people get after it, and on offense, we got a lot more speed, and I think that can create some matchup problems down the road for teams.
Good luck the rest of the season. Let's bring in Braden. Now another Harry's U-Puller player of the game. Boy, you guys really came out fast. What was the goal and the key coming into the beginning?
To get intense and just keep the whole game like that so we would beat their intensity.
So I'm calling over Coach Van. He's talking to the Dallas coach right now. But now the rest of the season, what's the key now as you try to move on and get through the weather conditions?
Just to keep on practicing, playing, throwing, catching, and all kinds of weather so you're used to it on the game. And just keep on scoring goals.
Well, you haven't been able to practice that much, but so far so good. Congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah, but we should get out to more like the rain. I don't know why it rains and snowing too. I don't know. Weather's crazy.
Well, other dominance, thank you, Brandon. Other dominance tonight by Dallas. Coach Van is somewhere, so we'll wrap it up right here on the field. A dominance performance by Lewisburg tonight. They win it easily over the Mountaineers of Dallas. That will wrap it up. Our next broadcast will be April 20th. We'll have Lackawanna League Baseball as Scranton takes on Valley View. First pitch at 4 o'clock right here on MyTV. And don't forget about the Wilkes-Barre-Scranton Penguins coming up on Saturday night. For Coach Van, this is Bob Ide saying so long from a rainy and breezy Dallas High School.
You're watching a Fox 56 Sports presentation of the Rivalry of the Week on MyTV WQMY. Brought to you by McCann School of Business and Technology and Blaze Alexander Dealerships.